I was worried about dating in my 30s because I'm allergic to cats. Once you switch the age range to 30 plus on the apps, every second person's got a picture of their fucking cat. And the caption is like, don't swipe yes if you don't get along with my son.
Like you get people like, I'm a Buddhist, not technically practicing, but I believe in Buddhist meditations. I have Christian values. I'm actually a Jew. I believe in reincarnation. I have my own kombucha shop. I run a drum circle on Sundays. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the birds are cameras. You're just sitting there going, fucking, how long is this haircut gonna take? Fucking hell. You look at Joe Rogan. Like, Joe Rogan is that dude, like, look at that identity. That's a weightlifting, UFC fighting dude who interviews economists and archaeologists, takes psychedelics, believes in UFOs. What the fuck is that? What is that identity that never existed before? Like, remember that dude at the bar who used to be like, oi, what are you fucking looking at, mate? Remember that guy? Yeah, he listens to Rogan now. So now he's like, oi, fasting improves cognitive performance, you fuckhead. And he's on magic mushrooms, so he's fucking, I love you, cunt. I fucking... No, we're all one, bro. We're all fucking one. No, we're all one thing, bro. We're all one consciousness. No, fucking, let's go outside and meditate. Get your friends, we'll fucking meditate. I'll fucking meditate right here, bro. Fucking went to Saturn, bro. Like, he got people that are into UFC into UFOs. That's amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, dudes getting abducted now. They're like fucking come at me. Like, they want to fight something new. Dudes are getting abducted now. They're like UFC. They're like, yeah, man, I got abducted by a conscious ball of slime. I just fucking came through at the front. It evaporated into a conscious gas. Doesn't matter if you're a gas or a solid, man. Just be respectful.
And when I came out to my parents, I was sat at the kitchen table with them, and my dad was there and my mum was there, and I told them I was a bender. And it just went silent, and my dad stormed out of the room in a really bad mood. And I thought, oh man, they hate me now. It's going to be weird around the house, because they're Catholic as well. I'm going to be the sinner of the family. And at that point, my dad came back into the room, and then he handed my mum £10.
You know, mothers are truly incredible. She's on top of everything before it's ever a problem. She told me this. She's like, I got this app. I want to be ready when our boys start using a computer. I'm like, they're 9 months old and 3 years old. Do we need this? She's like, we need this. She's like, this app will let us know any website they visit, even if they delete something in their search history. I'm like, do we need this? She pushes a button, up pops up a bunch of adult sites, recently visited on her home computer. And my wife was mad, very mad. And I was like, let me talk to them. These kids are disgusting.
And the second babysitter we ever got, like, she was very sweet, but her English wasn't great, and I was still so nervous leaving my little baby, and I left to go to work, and I was just crying, and I was so worried, and I was like, I know, I'll just message and check in and just see how she's doing, and that will make me feel better. I'll just say, like, is she sleeping, and that will reassure me. So I messaged and said, is she sleeping? And she replied, and I think she meant to say yes, but her English wasn't great. So what she wrote was, her eyes shut, she don't move. She followed it up, the most terrifying message I've ever received. She angel now.
One thing I didn't know is that sanitary towels are now sized, and I don't mean the size of the pad itself, I mean the size of the person wearing it. And I thought, oh my God, we as women get judged on so many different things. And now I'm about to be judged on the size of me twat. It's a matter of time before Grazia's telling us what size twat is fashionable next spring. But there is good news for the fatties amongst us, because it is based solely on the size of your thigh gap. 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 What fucking gap? got a knee gap. Although there was a moment fairly recently when I thought I might actually have a thigh gap. I walked past a mirror in brown knickers and there was a chink of light between my thighs and I thought, fucking hell, I have got a thigh gap. On closer inspection, it was a bit of silver foil of a 2-stick Kit Kat.
I'm a southerner now, I'm one of you lot. Yeah. And I defend this beautiful town from those thickies up north. Don't like them, they're stupid, they're worse than us. All my northern friends are the same, man. They come down to London for the weekend and they have the time of their life, a weekend of inexplicable joy. And at the end of it, they go, ooh, bit pricey. Yeah, did you have a good... Oh, no, it was incredible. We spent £400 in 3 days and all we did is go Wagamamas. Well, then we also had a boat trip down the Thames and we saw a life-changing piece of theatre and saw the Eye and Spotify Premium and Dairy Queen. Yeah, that isn't London, that's doing things. It's like when I go home to Scarborough and I'm like, oh, isn't it cheap? Isn't it cheap up north, I say, as I get into bed at 4 p.m. Real head-scratcher, that one, boy.
But I come out quite late in the evenings to do gigs, so I get home quite late, so I don't have time to cook, so I'll just pick up chicken and chips on the way home. And I'll sit down in the kitchen to eat my chicken and chips. Problem is, she thinks everything's ours. She comes in, she's like, how was the gig? Just takes a chip. And have you heard of generational trauma? It's when something that happened to your ancestors affects you today. So when my English girlfriend steals potatoes from me, I freak out.
Trying to explain therapy to Latino parents. Look at that, look at that, look at that. That hit you right in the trauma, right there. Like, man, I was like, I cannot sana away depression. Not how that works. If you don't know what sana is, allow me to explain. For those that don't know, Latinos have this thing that we say when like little kids get hurt. It's a little rhyme, make them feel better, you know what I mean? Sana, colita de rana, si no sanas hoy, sanarás mañana. You're all healed. One time my husband was like, can you translate that? And I was like, nah. Nah, man. Anything you translate from another language into English always loses something. Because the other languages are often so poetic, especially Spanish, such a poetic language. And if you translate it, it just loses all validity. Because translated, it's save, butt of a frog. If you don't heal today, you'll heal tomorrow. It's just passive-aggressive witchcraft. That's all it is. That's all it is.
I love reading reviews, especially reviews written by Indian people, because, dude, all Indian reviews are complaints. It's not a review of the product. It is how you have been wronged by an organization. First review of everything always is, this is a fraud company. They are doing fraud!
I was a very early adopter of the self-care movement. I'd been dumped, and I decided the best thing to do would be for me to drink a bottle of red, smoke a pack of fags, and do a deep dive onto her Facebook for her and the boy she left me for. Self-care, okay? And I'm just going through the pictures. Just... Oh, it's clearer. And in my drunkenness, I accidentally tagged myself in a picture of her and her new boyfriend as the candle on the table. Like I was Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, just hey! Remember me? You've ruined my life.
I got married in July last year to a nice American girl. I did it. Thank you. Thank you. I got a green card. I did it, yes. I'm legal. We were engaged for like 2.5 years because of the pandemic. And when we first got engaged, this is the first thing that we had to do was get engagement photos. Okay, this is an American tradition. We don't do this in Australia. And it's fucking weird. We were down the beach with a professional photographer doing shit we've never done before and will never do again. I was told to stand there and look out over the ocean, so I'm standing there like this. And my fiancée was told to stand right behind me and put her arms around me like that, right? And I, in turn, was to hold her back like this. So we're both standing there, staring out over the Pacific. She can't see shit because her face is just in my back. We're trying to make that look cute, like, ah! So we're standing there in some kind of reverse prom backpack scenario. And I thought, this isn't right, this doesn't feel right. And I went to the photographer, I don't think we should. And she took that photo. And then we sent that to all of our family and friends. And said, this is how we stand at the beach. We're idiots. We're thinking of starting a family. This isn't a good start. I do most of the cooking in the house. It's just that she burns 90% of shit that she touches in the kitchen, and I'm not allowed to say anything about it. You're not allowed to. It's very sexist and misogynistic to point out a woman burning something in the kitchen. You're better off just letting them burn shit and just saying nothing. But this is what she does. She put a pot on the stove, turn the stove on, and then she just fucks off for an hour and a half. And does something else. And then she comes running back in and goes, oh shit, how did that happen? Oh. And I'm sitting there going, I fucking know how it happened, but I'm not allowed to say anything because of the rules of society, and I'll get cancelled. It's hard. It's hard being in the car with her when she's trying to do a U-turn. It's really hard. It's very hard. I don't think she knows what the letter U is. I don't think she knows. See, this is what a U-turn is, right? You're coming down the street and you need to be back over this side of the street. So you just do a U shape. It's in the title. It's in the title. Just do a U shape. Get back to where you needed to get to. But what my wife likes to do is she's driving along about here, she shits herself. And she goes, I don't want to do a U-turn. There's too many cars. I'm scared. So she turns right down this street. And she doesn't want to do a U-turn on that street either, so she turns right up the next street. And then she does a painfully slow 3-point turn in a driveway. And then comes back down to this street, back down along here, and then back up to where we needed to get to. And that takes 45 minutes. And I just have to sit there in silence. Look, she's a better person than I am, okay? She does leave dishes around a lot, just half-drunk glasses of water everywhere. And it shits me, but we never fight. What we do is we passively aggressively get shit off our chests via one of the cats. So I'll pick up a cat and I say something like, oh, Mum leaves a lot of dirty dishes around, doesn't she? And then later on, she'll pick up a cat and go, oh, Dad can't show his emotions because his father left him when he was a child. Ooh. Yeah, she's a lot better at it than I am. She's a terrible morning person. She's horrific. from the hours of like 6 until about 9:30. She looks different. She sounds different. I think she's a different person. She scares me. If I get up before her, it's safer for me to grab some clothes together and go into the kitchen and change in the kitchen. Go, don't make too much noise. If you wake her up, she'll stab you in the face. She's terrifying. I was getting up early for work, this was a while ago, and I was getting up at 6:30. And on the Monday, got up at 6:30 and she was asleep. And I leant over and went, oh, bye, and kissed her on the shoulder, and she went, oh, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I was just saying goodbye, and she went, oh, just fucking go! And I went, oh, sorry, go back to sleep, sorry! And I left. Then on the Tuesday, 6:30 in the morning, she was asleep, and I thought, I won't disturb her, I'll let her sleep, that's what she wants. And I went off to work. Yeah, you all know. I got a text message from her at 9:30 that said, how come you left without saying goodbye? What the fuck am I meant to do with this situation? So Wednesday, 6:30, I'm just standing at the end of the bed just staring at her. I didn't know what to do. I'm looking around for help. There's no support. And I'm thinking, do I go or do I say goodbye? What do I do? And I was kind of hovering above her like that. And she woke up and saw me above her like this. And just went, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I went, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. Help me. About 4 years ago, I was in Chicago in December, okay? I was in a place called Schaumburg, and that is the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. I wasn't prepared for that at all. And I was doing some shows there in Schaumburg, and I was in the hotel. Looking out the window, there was a Whole Foods about a mile away. And like everything was frozen over. There was no people walking around, and all the cars were covered in snow. And look, I don't know the cold. I didn't know if I could walk that mile without dying. I didn't know. I didn't want to be a statistic on their news. Idiot Australian thinks he can walk a mile in December. He has perished outside the Whole Foods in Schaumburg. I didn't want that to happen. So I put my beanie on and my scarf on and my jacket on, and I put sweatpants on and then jeans over them and like another jacket. And I had all my clothing. I looked like an idiot. I was all puffed out like Kevin from Home Alone. And I walked out of the hotel room and the door shut behind me, and I went, oh shit, I forgot my room key. But I thought, don't worry about it. You can worry about that when you get back. So I started walking over to the Whole Foods. About a mile, or about half a mile, this young girl walked past me just in a t-shirt and looked up at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm a foreigner. I'm not from around here. Hello. So I knew I had too much clothing on, but I got to the Whole Foods and I took the jacket off and I took the scarf off and I took the beanie off. And then I wanted to get this green juice. And I found out the green juice was $17. And I was like, oh, come on, $17? And then I looked across and there was a lady giving out free samples of the very juice that I wanted. And pretty generous sized samples. So I went up to her and I said, oh, hi, may I try one of your juices? So I had one. And then I said, that's really good. May I have another? You're allowed to ask for 2. We've all decided in society that when sampling, you're allowed to have 2. So I had the second one. You can't ask for 3. That's too much, okay? That's cheeky. So I had to think of tactics to get the 3rd, 4th and 5th one. So this is what I did. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I went into the other aisle and I put my jacket back on and my scarf back on and I put my beanie back on. And then I walked back up to the lady and I went, hello, I'd like to try some green juice. And she just stared at me and I panicked. I don't know why I said this. I went, my twin brother was just here. And he said, I simply must try your green juice. So I'm just deep in a sea of juice lies at this point. And she burst out laughing and then leaned in and said, "Have as much juice as you want. As soon as all this juice is gone, I get to go on break." So I'm her new best friend. I'm like, "Well, let's have a juice, come on!" I'm getting other people involved. "Come on, we're getting Mary on break, have a juice!" We finished all the juice. Mary went on break. I had way too many juices. I had like 17 juices. I put my beanie back on and the scarf back on and the jacket back on, ready for my mile walk back to the hotel. And about quarter mile out, I realised that's too much juice. That's too much. We're about to have a problem here. This is a problem. Look, it's one thing if you need to pee really badly, but if you need to... That is an emergency situation. I don't want to be a statistic on the Chicago News. Australian shits his pants outside the Whole Foods in Schaumburg. He has perished outside. I don't need that on my adult life resume, so... And the shit that was going through my head, like, I was walking along going, you could jump between these two cars right now and this would all be over. And I'm like, you're not doing that, you're an adult. You're not shitting between cars. What are you, insane? So this is all I could do, all right? Now, you've all done this before. Don't act like you haven't. What it is, it's the fast-paced walk, and then you have to gather yourself. And that's the only way you can get from A to B, all right? You go, 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 go. Oh, shit, 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 shit. You've all done it before. You know damn well you have. Don't act like you haven't. It's all you can do. You go, 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 shit, 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 shit. Oh, God. So I did that the whole mile walk back to the hotel. I stopped like 50 times. It took me so long to get there, but I struggled and I got there and I made it and I was sweating. I was sweating by the time I got to the hotel. And I went to the elevators and I remembered, shit, I forgot my room key. And I went up to the guy at the counter, and it's like he knew exactly what was going on. Because all I did was go up to him and just go, "Dah!" And he went, right, this guy's about to shit his pants and doesn't have a room key. Because he just went, yeah, and handed me the key, and I went, "Ah!" I went to the elevators, I went up to my floor, and I got there, and I got to my room, I opened the door, I opened the bathroom door. Now, why is it that your brain thinks it's made it to the toilet when it sees the toilet? I was like, no, we're not there yet, what are you doing, for God's sakes? And I jumped in the air, and I got my jeans off, and I dove, and I went, and I made it, every little step, that whole mile back, everything. The relief when I made it to the toilet. And then I remembered I was wearing 2 pairs of pants.
And my point in all this is that guys get body shamed. We do. Guys get body shamed if we're short, or if we're bald, or if we have a small penis. And some guys out there get body shamed for all 3. It's got to be a horrible life for whoever that guy is. I'm sure he's really talented, though. But I believe in God. I do. I took about 30 years off, but now I'm back. This is why I believe in God. I just want there to be someone when my life is over to complain to about the life I had. That's why I do it. I want some upper management. I go up there, God's gonna be like, time to talk about your sins, and I'm gonna be like, I have some notes for you, pal. What was that? I'll definitely mention like the fact that I'm bald. You know, I'll be like, well, you couldn't just give me hair. That would have been a nice one. But 3 years ago, I had hair. Yeah, I had hair 3 years ago. I'm not saying it was a great amount, but it was an amount where my friends were still positive. Yeah, I tell them I'm going bald. They're like, you're not going bald. I'm like, are you sure? My dad's bald. And they'd be like, just because your dad's bald doesn't mean you'll be bald. It runs on your mom's side. I'm like, she's bald too. You'd think by now they would have a cure for being bald. Best option out there right now, you could take a pill, but a side effect of the pill is it could cause you to not be able to get an erection. And I don't want to risk that in case my wife and I ever, get a divorce. They tested that pill on animals first. That's pretty messed up. I just imagine there's some bald, limp-dick monkey walking around the jungle all depressed. Like, fuck. My dick doesn't work. There are 2 stages of being bald. First stage, denial. Second stage, acceptance. That's where I'm at. I've accepted it. And when you accept it, you shave your head. That's what I did. And I'll never forget that first day I shaved my head. It was on the day they stormed the Capitol. I wasn't trying to be a part of it or anything. I shaved my head, then I turned on the TV and I was like, I probably should have waited. You gotta keep up with current events. I try and have fun with this look. I try. As much as possible. I was walking around this town. It's right outside New York City. It's called Mamaroneck. And I'm walking around, and I saw a barbershop. And the name of this barbershop was Gary's Barbershop. And I'm like, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to ask them if they have any T-shirts. Gary's Barbershop, I'm bald. This could be big. So I walk in. There's one barber. He's cutting somebody's hair. And I ask him, I'm like, do you have T-shirts? And he goes, huh? And I go, do you sell T-shirts? And he goes, what? And in my head, I'm like, am I saying it weird? And then I'm like, my name's Gary. Do you have any T-shirts that say Gary's Barbershop? And he was like, do you have a barbershop? I couldn't believe how quickly this went off the rails. I didn't know how to explain it any clearer. I was like, I'd wear the T-shirt as a style. It would be a cool look. Finally, he got it. He was like, we don't carry T-shirts. We never have. We never will. No one has ever asked me this before. There's no need for them. Nobody would wear them. That's what he said to me. And I walked out of there. I felt worse than when I walked in. And about an hour went by. I called up the place. I didn't change my voice at all. I was like, hi, do you have T-shirts? He's like, are you the guy who was in here an hour ago? I'm like, no. He's like, somebody who was just in here trying to buy Gary's Barbershop T-shirts. I'm like, I guess there's a pretty high demand. Stock up, buddy.
Got dyspraxia, for those of you trying to diagnose me. I can feel it. Oh, is it autism? No, it's fucking not, thank you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, just to be clear. It's just I am making eye contact, they're just far fucking back. Dyspraxia, if you don't know, it's a condition, right? It affects like my spatial awareness, my coordination. It's tough over the pandemic, very hard to social distance when you're dyspraxic. Do you know what I fucking mean, lad? Thanks for coming, man. Thank you very much. It is, man. Like, how did anyone judge 2 meters? How were you doing that? How do you... I just use my knob. No one comes near me when it's out. It's tiny. I went to a specialist school for kids with tiny knobs. It was just me and a load of cherubs. We all had little mini ones, even the teachers, which did make us feel better, but really they shouldn't have been showing us. No, I went to a specialist school. It was called the University of Salford. No, I went to a high school, right? Specialist high school for kids with dyspraxia or dyslexia. It was called a Hume Hall. We got any fellow Hume Hallers in, by any chance? Give me a... No Hume Hallers in, no? Of course not, all outside shouting at pigeons. That's my bread! When I was 11, I had to go for like an interview at Hume Hall, see if I was appropriate. And I was nervous, but I turned up, they took one look at me, they said, "You're fucking perfect, lad." That is exactly what we're fucking after. Getting in now. Keith, come and have a look at this. We found the one. He's fucking perfect. You're not gonna believe it, mate. He looks just like your drawing. Get him on the front of the prospectus. This place is amazing. They give you beer. It was a good school, though. It was a good school. It was. We had our own dance troupe. Yeah, they were called Neurodiversity. They were bad. They were not good dancers. That was just us walking, like we weren't cut out for it, man. I always liked performing, though. As a kid, all I wanted to do was this. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. But you can't do stand-up when you're a kid. I did the next best thing. I was a magician. A dyspraxic magician. Slow of hand. My shows, they were a roller coaster. You'd watch me pull a rabbit out of a hat, you'd be like, wow, he's done it. And then I'd accidentally break the rabbit's neck, and there's only so many you can bury before you begin to blame yourself. It's very, very sad. It's hard to know what job you're going to do when you're dyspraxic. As a kid, I remember that advert. Do you remember that advert? You know, the, you could be a Royal Marine! Do you remember that? You remember that? You know that, you could be a Royal Marine! You remember that? I remember watching that like, oh, wow, could I now? Oh yeah, you reckon? I could be a Royal Marine, fucking this! I was buzzing, I couldn't believe it. I was like, Mummy, I'm going to war! I hope they serve bees. I don't think the Royal Marines want dyspraxics. But you don't hear that in the adverts, do you? If you can drop a phone, you can drop a bomb. I don't think I'm what they're after. I don't think I'm cut out for war. I feel like no matter how hard I tried, I'd end up doing the wrong thing. You know, like, if I was one of the 9/11 hijackers, I'd end up landing the plane. Sorry, lads, I could not do that again if I tried. Fuck. Shit, how did I do that? That was pretty impressive, though, wasn't it? Jesus Christ! All the American passengers are clapping. I wish I knew how to clap. I don't know. They worked out to get gay men in the army, though. Remember that? Don't ask, don't tell. We won't ask you if you're gay. You don't tell us if you are. Sorted. That doesn't quite work with the Spraxics, does it? Imagine, I'm there, licking a landmine. Like, Tiernan, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm not allowed to say. But I'd get back if I was you. I'm interested in the army, though. I find it fascinating. I found out about this thing called stolen valor. Stolen valor, it's basically where someone pretends they've served in the army and they haven't really. Like, they'll go around wearing like fake medals or military garments, and then someone who was in the army sees them and they can tell that they're not the real deal. So they start filming them and asking them questions, trying to catch them out. And like, they get so angry in these videos. I always think they're overreacting. At the end of the day, it's just someone wearing your old work uniform. I used to work at KFC. I saw a guy on the train wearing a KFC cap. I didn't go and confront him. You all right, mate? Nice cap. Really nice suit, shit. Which branch did you serve at? Name all 11 secret herbs and spices. Name them! You're a fraud! I'm calling the colonel. I didn't fucking... didn't do that. What's your name, little fella? Callum? Are you little, or is that just the energy you give off? How tall are you?
5'10".
You scrawny little bastard. Same height as me. Do you like baked beans?
I don't mind them. Yeah.
You don't mind them? Next time you eat baked beans, you're going to think of me. You are. Outside, banging on the window, give me some beans, Cali boy! Assurance. Nice one. Last job before comedy, I worked in a primary school. I was a lunchtime supervisor. I'm not making this up. I was a fucking dinner lady. It was heartbreaking. I wanted to be a Royal Marine. And there was a dinner lady. I was 25. 25. That's like 11. In dinner lady years. It was a big step up for me, that job. It was a huge step, because before that job I worked at KFC. Let me tell you now, supervising a child, very different to supervising a chicken burger. It is. You mess a child up, you can't just hide it and eat it on your break. You can't. You can't get away with it anymore. You can't. Ofsted don't like it when you do that. It was weird going for a job interview during the pandemic. The woman interviewing me, she was like, I won't be doing handshakes. So I hugged her, give me the fucking job. And got the fucking job, mate. I did what it took. Straight in. Her name was Maggie, right? Maggie was the head dinner lady. And she was fucking terrifying. Maggie should have been in the Royal Marines. Nothing would get past this woman. Once we were clearing up the canteen, all the kids are playing outside. They've finished their lunch. Maggie finds a full sandwich hidden underneath one of the tables. What would you have done, Callum? Have you been listening? Hello? You've been thinking about your bit, haven't you? Should have lied about my height. Fuck! Will he really break into my garden? Yes, I fucking will! Full sandwich hidden underneath one of the tables. All the kids are playing outside. What would you have done, Callum?
Eat the sandwich.
Eating it? What the fuck? A child's lunch. You're like the opposite of Marcus Rashford. Maggie starts looking for clues, right? She picks the sandwich up and she sniffs it. That's gluten-free bread. Dylan Lewis, year 6. Bring him in. I'm stood there like, what the fuck is going on? Maggie's about to waterboard an 11-year-old celiac. What is happening? This is crazy.